Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are visiting one more Limit 1 Festival deck with Darklords. And a whole bunch of other things because it's Limit 1. So, this deck is, of course, Darklords. But we've got the Albaz stuff, we've got Despia stuff in here, we've got even Dogmatica's stuff, all synergizing together and working together. So I'm just going to go through the card by card and talk about the list. So we are playing the Diviner package with Angel 01, Ava, Diviner, and Trios. Basically, if we get Diviner, we can go through a full combo to end on a Condemned. Problem is, it's not very good, but at the very least, we can end on something, so it's not the worst. We're playing one Effect Veiler because we need hand traps. We are playing one Tragedy for our Despia engine. Maxi, Ash Blossom, Ukobak, Snow. Snow is actually pretty good if you can send it off of a Foolish Burial, as well as it's just good in general since it's a light target. It's Disruption from the Grave, and just all in all a fairly decently statted monster with level 4 light, 850 attack. 1850 attack, sorry. So all in all, just very good. One each of both Ecclesias, the Incredible and the Dogmatica. The Albaz, Indulged Darklord, Aluber. These are all of our normals as well. The Dogmatica, Albaz, Indulged, Aluber. Those are just like some of our really good normal summons, along with the Diviner. And yeah, we basically play like 6-ish normal summons along with the Incredible Ecclesia. This one is more for going second, so there's that. One Amdusk, Nastin, Pankratops, Superbia, Fleur-de-Lis, Dogmatica, or Maximus, Dramaturg. I am playing Albion, the Shrouded Dragon. I'm not a big fan of this one, but it is very good for just like getting additional follow-up. It can basically just like recycle itself and then draw a card, which is very nice. So yeah, all in all, not the worst, but also not the best. So I could consider cutting this, but it never actually came up, so I don't know whether it's good or bad. One Ad Libitum, one Tez, Trios, Ixchel, and Morningstar. And that's all of our monsters. As you can see, we're playing a lot of like going second options. But you just kind of have to with the event and how the event itself works. The going second options just seem to be the best. Moving on to the spells, we're playing a lot of them as well. Raigeki, Harpies, Monster Reborn, Foolish Burial, Lightning Storm, Called by, Droplets, all the stuff that you know and love from this event. On top of that, we're also playing Allure of Darkness because we are playing a lot of darks, and drawing it with Tragedy is so very nice. And drawing cards is so much more valuable in this event, so having it is very nice. Banishment, Contact, of course. We are playing the Nadir Servant. This card's absolutely crazy, and came up a lot where if we ended up seeing it, we just kind of like won the game. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason it's legitimately limited to 1 in the actual game, because the card's crazy. One Theater. I am running Super Poly as well. This comes up occasionally, but honestly, there aren't a lot of decks that actually are playing good targets. So we're only playing 2 Super Poly targets in the extra deck, but they're just like the best ones. And Super Poly's not too terrible. So yeah, there you go. The one Branded Opening and Branded in red as well. And then for the traps, we are running 1 Imperm and 1 Dogmatica Punishment. So that's it for the main deck. As you can tell, we are running 44 cards. Reason for this, I couldn't really see anything that I wanted to cut. I could cut maybe Amdusk and maybe Albion, maybe Nastin. Sorry about that. Yeah, all in all, 44 just seems like the right number. Moving on to the extra deck, we are running Entis, Muddragon, Starving Venom, Titaniclad, Albion, Despia, Quiritus, Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon, Despian Proskenion, and the first Darklord for all of our fusion targets. I've summoned, I think, everything here except for Muddragon, obviously Entis, and the Proskenion. The only reason that I didn't summon the Proskenion was because I needed to go into queue. In all reality, I think this is probably the best summon for this event, just because so many people are yeah, so many people are running fusions in particular, as well as it just kind of gets over like everything. And it floats, which is very, very nice. So there you go. We're also playing for just a whole bunch of Link monsters. We're playing the Condemned, IP Masquerena, Nightmare Unicorn, Apollosa Access Code, and Underworld Goddess. I actually did end up doing Masquerade into Underworld Goddess using my opponent's monster, which was very, very funny. So yeah, there you go. Let's just hop into the deck and see how this deck performs. Or the duels. Hop into the duels. Alright, so here we are in our first duel, and we kind of don't have the greatest of hands, and we're playing up against Witchcrafter, Sky Striker, I guess? I don't know, seems a bit odd, but okay. Anyway, they're going to activate their Pottery to go for Shmieta, then Shmieta to go for Avere, and then add the Holiday back to the hand in the end phase. My turn. I draw Effect Failure. Okay. Alright. Not the greatest. We're going to go Banishment to search out the Nastin. You may be like, why are we searching out the Nastin? Here's why. We're going to go Forbidden Droplets in order to negate the effect of Vere. Then we're going to activate the effect of Monster Reborn in order to bring back the Nastin. Nastin is just one of the biggest statted monsters, and Witchcrafter Masterpiece comes down, allowing them to grab up another spell with the Monster Reborn. Feels bad. Not a lot we can do about that, though. So Nastin is going to search out the Contact. Realistically, I should have searched just about anything else. I think the best option would have been to search out the Indulged. Indulged, special the Ukobak to my opponent's side of the field, and then at the very least we have Indulged to search out another card. So that might have been better, but all in all, it's fine. Then I'm going to normal Tragedy. Now, here is where I make a mistake. I forget that I have normaled, which means I can't use Morningstar, or I can't tribute summon Morningstar with Condemn. So that was a big mistake from me. I'm still going to activate the effect of Condemned and actually get rid of the Morningstar to go for Tez here, because we do have Contact. So if I end up surviving, I can at least do something. Realistically, though, that was just like a bad play from me. But my opponent is going to go for the Masterpiece in order to go for Genny. Then they are going to send to the grave a Lorpar. I think the main reason to do this is just because they wanted it in the grave for their Monster Reborn. They're going to summon back their Pottery in order to just have it on field as additional material. Then they are going to summon out their Lorpar. They're going to go for Genny, sending Twin Twister in order to special summon out the Golem Aruru. They're going to go to battle. And I choose to protect with Tez here, just because that way we can get Tez into the grave for Contact, so we can contact two monsters. They're going to go for the IP Masquerena, and then go for Genny, banishing their last spell in order to special summon out a Vere, or sorry, a Pottery, because they actually, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, they go for Selene here. Luckily, we have the Effect Veiler, so we can actually just negate the Selene, so they don't get anything there. Pottery's effect is going to activate to add back the Aruru to the hand. So we have Contact and whatever we end up top decking. Okay, that, I'm not going to lie, that is not a good top deck. It's fine though. We're going to go Tez into Nastin and just kind of end. They're going to go into Topologic Zeroboros, and I just kind of have to hope and pray that my opponent doesn't banish my entire field. Otherwise, I die. They don't. Happy day. Fantastic. Love to see it. They're going to set a card and pass. I draw into Opening, which is like exactly what we needed. We needed Aluber or Opening. So we go for the Aluber in order to search out the Branded in Red. We're going to go for the Branded in Red, searching out or adding back the Tragedy. We're going to banish both the Tragedy and the Aluber in order to go for Despia Q. Now, this card basically just absolutely destroys Zeroboros and basically everything that my opponent wants to do, especially since they basically have nothing. We know the card in hand is a Golem Aruru, which literally isn't going to do anything, and whatever this set card is, I'm not too worried about it. We're going to add the Dramaturg, and my opponent, seeing the writing on the wall, scoops it up. It truly is sad watching an opponent play a deck just far inferior to your own. However, we are going second this time, and holy crap, this hand is just depressing. My opponent is going to send to the graveyard a Gizmek Orochi, and then pass the turn. Okay, odd, but okay. We draw Ecclesia, and this just makes the hand so much better, and then Gamma comes down, and I cry. Alright, not a lot that I can do about that, but we do have Monster Reborn, so on the following turn, on our following turn, if we survive, we can bring it back for additional activations. We're just going to set the Imperm and pass. In the end phase, I knew this was going to happen, which is why I didn't set the Called by the Grave. I needed to Called by the Orochi, so I'm going to actually just Called by it, say no more Orochi for you, no attacking, no banishing, no nothing, stop. And yeah, it worked. And that literally ends his turn. What can I say? And then we draw Aluber. Alright, look, I'm just the greatest, you know? You can't beat me, hands down. So we are going to search out the fusion, and we're going to go for Masquerade here. Then we're just going to go to battle. Realistically, I could have dropped the Monster Reborn on our Superbia to bring him back, and then we could also have brought back the Aluber, which could have done a lot more damage. It wouldn't have been lethal, so no real point in doing that. I'm going to actually just hold on to the Monster Reborn, just in case. And since we do have the branded in red, we could also just add back the Aluber from our grave, which is exactly what is going to end up happening, because my opponent Godarlas me, and then Lightning Storms to deal with our back row. So we're going to add back the Aluber to our hand, and I'm very glad that I didn't end up using our Monster Reborn, because they went Lightning Storm Raigeki. So there you go. But it's fine, we do have the Aluber, so we can go Aluber, search out to the branded opening, and then we go for the Banishment to search out the Contact, and then my opponent scoops it up. After I thought for like a really long time as to how exactly I wanted to do this, because I didn't think there was a way that I had lethal that turn. But it's all good. We still win. Now, I've heard a lot of mixed opinions on the event so far, and in all honesty, I understand both the people who enjoy this event and the people who don't. In all reality, the event's not crazy fun, but it's still fun and unique and interesting, and something that is at least different from regular ranked. However, our hand is absolutely stacked because we drew Allure Tragedy. Doesn't matter what else we drew Allure Tragedy. So we're going to search out the Aluber after banishing the Tragedy. We're then going to reveal the Tez in order to special summon out the 01. Then we're going to normal the Aluber, and it promptly gets negated. Sad day, but not a lot that we can do. We have Nadir Servant, Monster Reborn, Droplets, which is insanity. But we are first going to go for the Ixchel. We actually draw Nastin, which is pretty interesting, as well as Diviner. We're going to special summon back the Tez here, and then I'm just going to go and decide to get as much damage as I can, because I don't think I can get really more damage without locking me out of the extra deck, which I don't quite want to do. I'm going to go for the IP Masquerade here, and then we will activate the Nadir Servant, not in the middle zone because there was an Imperm there. And we're going to search out the Fleur-de-Lis by sending the Titaniclad. Titaniclad is then going to special summon out the Ecclesia. Ecclesia is going to grab the Maximus Force, and we have the Droplets set. Now, I could have done this a different way, where I could have sent the Titaniclad and then searched out the Ecclesia, but because of the fact that I had already normaled, I guess I could have technically specialed the Ecclesia, but in all reality, I'd rather have the Fleur-de-Lis in my hand if I need it. So, there you go. My opponent is going to special summon out the Cyber Dragon and then Raigeki us, and we are going to IP Masquerade here in order to go into Underworld, Goddess of the Closed World. Now, I did use their monster, so there's that. There's no Cyber Dragon shenanigans going on here. But, notably, even if we hadn't have used the IP Masquerade, this still would be just straight up unaffected, because it is unaffected by opponent's activated effects unless they target the card. So, there you go. Even Raigeki doesn't work. And my opponent scoops it up realizing, wow, he is way ahead on advantage, which is true. And as you can tell by the last duel, this deck actually does have quite a few plays that it can make, which is really unique to it, at least in the terms of the plays that it can make. My opponent just ends the turn, because I think a lot of people really want to go second, and, you know, I do too. We're going to drop down that Foolish Burial, we're going to send the Tragedy, standard stuff. We're going to search out the Aluber, and then we're going to normal the Aluber. Aluber effect is going to search out the Theater, and then we're going to go for Theater here, and there goes the Maxi. I hate that stupid card. It deserves to die. Moving on. First Darklord comes out, they're going to draw a card, and then I'm just going to go to battle, dome him for 4k, and then pass the turn after setting the Imperm. My opponent is then going to, in main phase 2, special summon out the Fleur-de-Lis, and then special summon out Hop Ear Squadron, which will then immediately allow them to go into Baron de Fleur. Okay, very interesting. Now, I want you to remember, my opponent didn't activate anything on their first turn. I have Imperm, first Darklord, Theater. This Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis kind of doesn't do anything. It could be, at the very least, a blocker, so there's that. My opponent's going to try and pop the back row. We are going to negate it. This row is now negated as well. Out comes the Ecclesia. Out comes the Iris Sword Soul, which is interesting. Then they are going to normal summon Diviner of Herald and make it an 8. Oh dear. Also, they sent Moki Moki King. Who is playing this card? Hilarious. Anyway, they make Dingirsu, which is like the only out to the first Darklord. I'm going to activate the first Darklord. They're going to try and negate it for some reason. And I'm going to special summon out the Aluber. Aluber is going to search out the Branded in red. And then my opponent will go into Pain Gainer. And then into the 7 Sins. Then they will activate their Monster Reborn to steal our monster. At this point, it sucks. Because if our Aluber gets destroyed, we can't special summon back any of the fusion monsters because the only one that we have is the first Darklord. So I kind of just have to special this Fleur-de-Lis, hope that we don't die, and yeah. Oh wait, no, they activated it in the Imperm column. Yeah, I win the game. The game is now over. The first Darklord just gives us so much advantage. Out comes the Fleur-de-Lis as well. My opponent has even used the negate on the Baron, so it's not like it's doing anything as well. And, yeah, they scoop it up, realizing they had a massive mistake. Alright, and so here we are in the last duel, and we actually drew Diviner and Ava. But we're going first. So we're going to go Diviner, send the Trios. Trios effect is going to tribute the Diviner in order to special summon itself, and then Diviner will special summon out the Ava from hand. Then we'll go for Condemned Darklord. We will banish the Ava in order to search out the Angel 01. Then we will activate the Condemned in order to search Morningstar, and then we will special summon, we'll special summon out the Angel 01 in order to tribute out the Morningstar, and then Morningstar is going to send 2 cards. We're going to set the Dogmatic Punishment and pass. Realistically, I don't really know if there was something better that I could have done. I maybe could have sent the Angel 01 instead, or I could have gone into IP, maybe, I don't know. There wasn't really a whole lot of options given the hand that I was given. With Fallen of Albaz already in hand instead of something else that I could have potentially searched with, or specialed with the Angel 01, but just like not having a Darklord or an opponent's card on their side of the field kind of makes this difficult, but it's all good. We'll make it. So they're going to go for Pot of Prosperity, and they're going to reveal a whole bunch of Sword Soul and just like really powerful cards. And then they add Moye. So we do have to contend with Moye, but at least we don't have to contend with Raigeki. Out comes the Harpy's Feather Duster. I'm going to punishment after they, for some reason, special the Ashana. I don't know why they did that, but at the very least, because they did that, we now have our Titaniclad in the graveyard, which means that we have additional follow-up at the end of the turn. They're going to reveal Mare Mare. Okay, very interesting. And then they are going to go for Draco Berserker. I don't know why they go Draco Berserker here instead of Chixiao, instead of Baxia, instead of literally anything. I don't. Now, granted, to be fair, Morningstar can't be targeted. But all in all, I'm still confused. Anyway, they summon out the Vishada, and then they are going to go into Shaman of the Tenyi. Shaman of the Tenyi is going to pitch the Mare Mare in order to special summon back the Monk, so that they can return our Angel 01 to the hand. Then they are going to go Draco Berserker over everything and attack in for quite a bit of damage, but because we had 10,000 health, we're still only at 7,200. They're going to set 1 card, and Titaniclad in the end phase is going to activate, which is going to be banished by the Draco Berserker, which means that instead of just adding the Ecclesia to my hand, which is what I was going to do because I didn't want it to be banished, now I get to special summon it. So we're going to special summon it and go for the Maximus here. Now I just have to hope that this is specifically not a Judgment or something that can negate a spell. And I activate the Raigeki and wipe my opponent's field. We're going to special summon Angel 01 by revealing the Maximus, to the which they will flip Solemn Warning. When a monster would be summoned, or when a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated. That's okay, that's special summon. But still, it's like, what? Pay 2k to negate the summon. of this guy. I don't know why they hated that card in particular so much, but they did. Anyway, out comes Maximus. I'm going to activate the effect of Maximus to send to the graveyard an Albion and another card. But mostly, I noticed that they were very low on cards in their extra deck, so I decided to get rid of 2 more of their cards. And we got rid of the Baron and the Tenyi Spirit. Anyway, we get the Branded Opening, and we pass the turn. We're going to, in the end phase, activate the Branded Opening. Aluber is going to add the Despia Theater, and we will pass. Our turn. We draw Ecclesia, which isn't great, but it's not bad. We're going to go and fuse off the other Ecclesia, as well as the Despia Q, or into the Despia Q, in order to attack in. They're going to special summon out a Yang Zing, because it was a set Yang Zing, and then we just kind of have to pass, because, yeah, we can't deal with this. Anyway, we're going to activate Maximus again, and we'll send the Entis to the graveyard, and then we will pop their monster, which they will then special summon. The reason that I do this is, yes, they can technically float, but seeing as how it's all a bunch of one-ofs, they're not going to be floating into the same things over and over, and I doubt that they're playing many Yang Zings, so I'm just like, yeah, let's just cycle through those. And it works. I mean, they literally have nothing that they can do. I draw Eggshell, doesn't really do anything. We're going to proceed to battle, walk in. Okay, they don't have anything, walk in. 500 less than lethal. Okay. And during the end phase, we're going to get rid of the rest of their cards in their extra deck with Maximus. They're going to set a card and pass. And at this point, the game is over. It's just going to battle and dealing that lethal blow. Ignore that. That didn't do anything. There you go. Good game. So, all in all, I was actually surprised with how well this deck performed. I expected to have more dead hands, but the fact of the matter is, with how slow the event is, oftentimes you're able to see at least one of your combo starters, that being things like Banishment, Aluber, or one of your Dogmatica cards like Ecclesia or Nadir Servant. So, all in all, it was still pretty decent, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Is it good? No. Is it top tier? No. But it's very fun, and it has potential to at least take games off of some of the quote-unquote top-tier decks. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated, and if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.